We're actually going now to the sweetest part of our web development. And we're going to talk about page speed and how page speed affects your website. So go Google what you call Google page speed and see how page speed can really help us. So come here and click on page speed insights. And we are going to copy our live website. This one will not work on your local website. So, and analyze that. Yeah. So it will analyze for both the mobile and desktop. When your website is slow, it simply means your user experience is bad. So your clients won't give you business because you make slow websites. So you need to know how to optimize your website. Second, you might be losing on ranking because Google does not love slow websites. So it simply means your SEO will not be very good. You can see that our performance is 59. As you can see, sorry. What we call fast contentful paint, LCP, largest contentful paint. These are things you have to go read by yourself. Best practices, we have 93. SEO, we have 77. Uh, and accessibility, we have 86. So having a grade of 59 for such a website is very good. We have not done anything. So when you go to desktop, you see it is much better. We have performance of 88, 86, 96, and 77 for SEO. So how do we optimize this website much more? So the first thing, of course, if you have caching on your server, activate it such that you have cache. You can actually clear whatever cache that was there. One of the plugins that you can use to optimize your website is WP Rocket. We have the free version, which is not as bad. And you can just click it's not WP Rocket, but SiteGround. Um, the SiteGround Speed Optimizer. Yes, this is the plugin to use. It's a very good and fast and an effective plugin. We have several other plugins which you can use. You can go and study. If you're on a Lightspeed server, there is a Lightspeed cache plugin that you can use. Yeah, Lightspeed cache. If you're on a Lightspeed server, there is this WP fastest cache na kuna W3 total cache. Yes. Yeah, you just search on cache, you will get actually all the cache plugins. So we have Lightspeed, we have W3 total, we have WP fastest cache, and we have WP optimize cache. So Speed Optimizer is actually just free, so you can find on the menu here. Go to caching, and on caching, of course, it will tell you collect and send this. I usually don't check that. So we can use file-based caching, dynamic caching, and memcached. Is they usually tell you it's you have to be on the SiteGround environment, even the memcached one, you have to be on SiteGround itself, but you're not using SiteGround hosting. So you can perform a smart cache based on events happening on your website, which I do that. So when I clear the cache, even on the back end, it will actually purge the WordPress API cache. So if you want to exclude URLs from caching, this is where you can. Let's say I don't want to cache my, let's say, login page. This is where I will do it. I will add another one, let's say my cart, such things, okay? So browser specific caching, I don't use the browser specific caching because it will generate caches differently on a browser. And it tells you enable this feature if you're experiencing issues with caching and generating mobile versions. So let me go to environment. And as you actually do these changes, it's advisable that you always look for changes, live changes, such that your website is not broken. So you can do what we call HTTP enforce, which will log you out. The other way to do HTTP enforce is on your server. Okay. We needed to talk about SSL, TLS. We will talk this when we talk about security. So go to domains. Okay. If you already have an SSL certificate which is installed, you come to domains and you force HTTPS redirect. Okay. Yes, so you can do this HTTPS enforce. Tells you could not enable HTTPS, which is okay because we've enabled it on the background. So we can fix insecure content, which has to work with this. So what we do, we can change the sometimes you need to log out to log in so that it works. So you have the gzip compression. The gzip compression, it's a very good feature to do that, and browser caching, which is very good. So I leave everything as it is like that, and I go to the front end. When I go to the front end, I usually minify my CSS files. It simply means that my CSS files are crunched to reduce their size and the number of requests on the server. So every time you do that, it's advisable like you just refresh your page to see which one is breaking your site. But one of the plugins that I've seen that it doesn't break your site is this. So you can combine CSS files and you can preload. I usually do the same for my JavaScript, and there's what we call render blocking JavaScript. You will actually mostly get that as an error here. Eliminate render blocking resources, okay? Reduce the new CSS, reduce the new JavaScript, and that is exactly what we are doing here on combining and minifying them and defining render blocking JavaScript. So when you go to general, which is the HTML, I minify my HTML, I optimize my web fonts, I remove query strings from static resources, and their website I use emojis, so you can disable, prevent WordPress from automatically detecting and generating emojis. And you go to media from the front end, so you have image compression. Okay, I don't use image compression. Use of WP images, I already use WP images. Okay, but this has to allow you on SiteGround. That's why I enable the manual. I upload WP images manually. I lazy load all my media such that it is loading. It's not the first thing that you're loading to improve my speed. And I go now to site performance, which has got their own page speed test, and I can test now how it looks on desktop. So I can retest this again. I have 86, 86, as you can see. Look at these figures, and when I analyze, I should see a very good change. Although sometimes the page speed, I have to read in another browser so that I can see real metrics. So you have the speed optimizer from inside the website, and you have this that outside. Now the side to SG optimizer share is that it creates a lot of static files. There's a time I saw a website with around 50 GB, and upon I thought I was hacked, but upon looking further, when you go to WP content and you go to uploads, the SiteGround optimizer assets This is where now it puts all your cache and all these things. It was quite a crazy file space. So what it does, it's that this file was too big, it was crazily big. So be checking these optimizer assets. I don't know if they improved. That's how I moved now to WP Rocket. WP Rocket is a paid plugin that you can buy and use for if you have your clients. It's quite expensive there. Yes, but for single license is $59 a year. So as you can see, we have a slight improvement from 60 to 94. 077. This is now 85. And on desktop, there's also improvement based on how we're doing. So that is how we optimize our websites for speed.